You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Coming up, the latest track of Hurricane Florence, why officials are concerned about increasing storm surge and flooding.
Plus, how hundreds of volunteers from here on the Suncoast will help first responders across the East Coast.
And what led police to a man suspected more than a dozen burglaries in 2 weeks across Sarasota. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning, folks. We've made it to Friday, 5 o'clock. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for joining us this morning. John Scalzi has kicked off his vacation palooza. Josh Stone is in for him this morning. Good morning, Josh.
All right. Good morning, Stephanie and Ray. Let's check out our current temperature right now. It's 75 degrees, dew point at 74, humidity at 96, and we have calm winds, but later on today we'll start to get that westerly, northwesterly wind then. And our temperatures are going to be around average at this time of the year, 89 degrees. Not much going on the radar for us, but up to our north and to our northeast, a little different story here. This is Hurricane Florence. It's just starting to make its way on land here. It's Category 1, and we'll talk more about this when we return in weather. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, Josh. Checking the roads right now. Issue already there at 14th Street West and 53rd. The road is closed from 14th to 11th Street Court, so be aware of that if you're traveling anywhere there around between Cortez and Bayshore Gardens. Farther south, here's the scene in the upper half of Sarasota County. Bee Ridge Road from Honoré in toward Cattleman and the interstate. Congestion there already. And then our South County maps will show a little buildup there on the connector between 75 and 41. We call that 681. And there's some congestion as you join the Laurel-Nokomis area. Right now, Hurricane Florence is a Category 1 storm bringing heavy rain and wind into the Carolinas.
ABC's Emily Rao is in Wilmington, North Carolina with the latest on the conditions there this morning.
Florence is moving less than 10 miles per hour inland, but the wind coming with it 10 times as fast.
Once these winds start blowing at that tropical storm rate, it will be virtually impossible for the rescuers to get in to rescue you.
Those tropical storm force winds now blasting an area hundreds of miles wide, ripping off this gas station canopy in Topsail Beach, North Carolina. As first responders pull back, the storm surge is rushing in. In New Bern, people wading through waist-deep water trying to get to their hotels. And in Wilmington, the rain coming down sideways in sheets. Families who chose to stay and ride it out now bracing for the worst.
We have large pine trees in our backyard and they're really bending a lot, and the wind's just howling away as I can hear it from inside the house.
Reports of structural damage already racking up and shelters overflowing.
And those intense winds, of course, knocking down power lines. We know at least 160,000 people are without power. Many more outages expected. More than 100 are waiting for rescue in New Bern, North Carolina, as this storm is just getting started. Emily Rao, ABC News, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Well, right now, local agencies here on the Suncoast are on standby to figure out how they need to help respond to Hurricane Florence.
Our Marla Spence joins us now with details of what's being done to help those in the Carolinas now. Marla?
Well, guys, local agencies are willing and ready to pay it forward and help along the East Coast, especially after experiencing Irma a little over a year ago. Today, volunteers with Sarasota's America Red Cross and Venice Fire Department are on standby. The Red Cross has already sent 24 volunteers and say they are looking for more people in the community to help. The organization is asking people to hold off on giving donations for now. Organizers say they would rather wait to see what is needed once the storm passes before collecting donations. And the Venice Fire Department team also looking to help. 3 personnel and a Venice fire engine are ready to head out if they are getting that phone call. The same team has gone out to help other neighboring communities in the past who have been hit with catastrophe.
We've been placed on standby by our region through the state. That's part of what we do in the fire service and also I know public safety as a whole. We're always working through the state and our local agencies to make sure that we're always there to assist everybody else, and we'll receive the service if it ever comes our way.
And millions of people have already escaped the path of the storm by making their way south. A couple from Myrtle Beach drove close to 12 hours in traffic with millions of others trying to escape the storm. That couple thankfully has family in Venice, where they are now seeking refuge as Florence passes through. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Marla. And remember, while Hurricane Florence didn't impact us here, there are still 2.5 months left in hurricane season. So it is a good reminder to make sure that you have your family's plan in place. You can find plenty of help on our free ABC7 app, including a printable 2018 Hurricane Guide.
Developing overnight in Massachusetts, one person is dead, at least 5 injured after a string of gas explosions sparked fires north of Boston. This video was taken in Lawrence, where you can see at least one building burning. Nearly 24 fires were reported in at least 3 towns nearby. This is an amazing video. It was so bad the entire community there was ordered to evacuate, and electricity has long since been shut off.
To date, we have approximately 12 to 14 houses that were directly impacted by the events. Because we have not yet been able to identify a clear geographic area that have affected in North Andover, we have communicated with all of our residents that if they have gas service, they should evacuate from their home.
Utility workers are investigating a possible spike in gas pressure as to what might have caused the fires and explosions. Right now, at least 5 people are still hospitalized.
In New York now, where the governor Andrew Cuomo has won his primary election against actress and activist Cynthia Nixon. Now, this is Cuomo's 3rd time winning the gubernatorial nomination and one of the most watched races in the country. He'll now take on Republican Mark Molinaro and Syracuse Mayor Stephanie Miner, a Democrat running as an independent in the November general election.
Speaking of politics now happening today, the candidate for the local state house seat who lied on her resume will reach a deal with the state attorney's office. Melissa Howard of Lakewood Ranch is expected to admit guilt and enter into a deferred prosecution agreement at 9:30 a.m. She lied about having a degree from Miami University of Ohio while running for the state house seat this past year, a race that she wound up dropping out of. She'll be required to perform 25 hours of public service, pay court costs, and remain on probation. The sheriff's office said Howard did intend to defraud voters.
Agreement is available for first-time offenders. Ms. Howard has no prior criminal history, which makes her eligible for this program.
If she doesn't abide by all those stipulations, then she would face a misdemeanor for misrepresentation. Howard could not be reached for comment.
Well, new details now out of Sarasota, where a man is now in jail connected to more than a dozen burglaries over the course of just 2 weeks. Sheriff deputies say Adam Lehman is responsible for stealing from 16 homes in the South Winds Mobile Home Park on Tamiami Trail in Sarasota. Now, items stolen include a TV, a boat motor, fishing rods, power tools, even a handgun. The sheriff's office says Lehman was captured while walking down Clark Road with some of the stolen items. Residents say he was staying at a home that his mom owns in the park and was targeting homes of snowbirds who were away for the season. Police say Lehman admitted to committing all 16 burglaries and is now facing 17 felony burglary charges.
You're always concerned, no matter what it is, and even though a majority of them are in the back of the park, it doesn't mean that they can't come to the front of the park. So you got to just be careful and make sure you got everything locked up.
One evening there was a phone call to the sheriff's office, and they were here within 6 or 7 minutes, and there were almost 7 officers responding. So it's just outstanding work.
But wait, there's more. Deputies are continuing with their investigation. They believe there may be more victims, and we're told Lehman has a long criminal history.
Northport investigators hope a larger reward will help lead them to a killer in a recent homicide. 20-year-old Tyron Kennard was shot several times and found dead near the Charlotte and Sarasota County line. A $3,000 reward is now being offered. If you can help, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-780-TIPS.
All right, caught on camera. Do you recognize the man that you are about to see right here? It's a tough one.
No.
Manatee County Sheriff's deputies are sharing this surveillance video of a thief caught skateboarding through a neighborhood in Bradenton and breaking into several unlocked cars and trucks. Deputies say it happened during the early morning hours of September 1st in the Del Tierra subdivision. Now, if you have any information, they want you to contact the sheriff's office.
Well, some more changes for St. Armand Circle. It's getting a parking garage, restrooms, parking meters, and now possibly speed bumps as well. The state is considering it and says it may happen by the end of the year. It would reportedly be a temporary installation at first. The goal is to stop drivers from speeding in and out of St. Armand Circle. Speaking of traffic, you can now get access to more than 200 traffic cameras in the area through the Manatee County Regional Traffic Management Center. You can access the cameras on your computer or your smartphone using a program called Smart Traffic. The cameras include all of Manatee and Sarasota counties from Parrish down to Northport. For a video tutorial on how to use Smart Traffic, head to our website at mysuncoast.com. That is a neat thing to have access to.
Yeah, I like that. That's very creative.
I've been to that place. It's a big room with 200 monitors, and now we can see it from home as well.
I like that. I feel like you would use that often.
I might.
Ray, just on a Friday night.
Oh, come on now. I've got Netflix. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll tell you how a major beer maker is helping victims of Hurricane Florence. Here's a hint. They're not sending beer.
And later in the hour, we're going to tell you what came out of a meeting between a group of American priests at the Vatican. But first, here's a live look at Wilmington this morning as Hurricane Florence is now starting to come ashore. We're going to have all the latest as all of this comes through. We've got reports from ABC as well as some of the local affiliates there.
Yeah, 270,000 have lost power already. As far as the current conditions here, here's Josh Stone.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day for them, and that could last for several days, if not weeks, without the power. 75 degrees here, no issues with the wind or rain right now. Radar is quiet. We're going to climb up to about average, 89 degrees, and a few clouds in the sky. But of course, the big story is what's happening with Florence, and we'll break this down for you when we come back after the break. Stay with us.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
The final 2018 Accord clearance is now during our model year-end clearance sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for new Accords. All on clearance this week at your local Honda dealer.
Clogged pores are disgusting. Introducing DermaSuction, the easy way to suck that yuck out of your pores. DermaSuction removes blackheads and dirt from your pores. Just look at everything it extracts. The secret's the gentle vacuum action. Watch as DermaSuction extracts so much yuck, leaving your skin feeling clean and youthful.
The gunk that had been pulled out, I was pretty horrified, but better in the DermaSuction than on my face.
It's almost addictive because you can see all this stuff coming out of your skin that you don't even really know is there.
Call now to order your DermaSuction for just $19.99. We'll also include our small and large body probes, the Sonic Microdermabrasion probe, and the handy travel case, all absolutely free. Order now and you can double the offer. Just pay a separate fee. You can get all this, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-213-9301. That's 1-800-213-9301 or visit dermasuction.com. So call 1-800-213-9301 now.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone in for John Scalzi. He has the day off, and we're looking at temperatures on this graphic in the mid-70s. So walking out to, for the most part, comfortable conditions on this Friday morning. Now, what's not so comfortable, especially probably this afternoon, and at least for maybe over the weekend, is we're going to have a westerly, northwesterly wind pick up, because we're actually on the west side, or actually the southwest side of Hurricane Florence. So that wind around it, along with a sea breeze, is going to come in from the west. And with a red tide report from the other day, this graphic was from the other day, you can see all these red dots here showing that we had high conditions. Now, we're going to get an update later today, but still, westerly wind could push that scent and that smell in. That's uncomfortable, and people are more irritable to that, could have some issues. Just keep that in mind for today. Our radar, for the most part, is quiet. Maybe a few blips in our inland counties of some light shower activity, but other than that, everything is quiet right now. Let's zoom out and talk about more of the big story here in the Carolinas. This is Hurricane Florence. Just the other day, it was a Category 4 storm. And then it encountered some wind shear, some dry air was in train on the back side of it, and the eye wall was kind of going through an eye wall recycle or replacement, and just didn't have enough water real estate to get going and strengthen further, which is good. And we still have strong winds, though, out of this, about 90 miles per hour sustained, but it could have been a lot worse. Thing, though, is this is still, the eye is still over water, and it's going to be a tremendous rainmaker here as it continues to sit and spin. So once again, the winds maybe 90 to 100 miles per hour, some higher wind gusts, but the winds really aren't going to be the big story here. And that's still very strong winds, but we will have more of a rainmaker here, maybe 40, 50 inches of rain coming down. So this is almost like Harvey Part 2. And remember, Harvey last year dropped about 60 inches of rain in Texas. I don't think it's going to be that much for the Carolinas, but as you can see, the track, though, trough will pick it up and eject it towards the north and east. There's also another tropical system here in the Caribbean. This is Tropical Depression Isaac. Continues to move towards the west and northwest. We really don't know what's going to happen after that once it tracks to the south of Jamaica, but we're going to keep our eye on it and see what happens. Most models fizzle that thing out. As far as the rest of the country, if you're traveling today, looks like we're going to be okay going westbound or to the northwest. 89 will be our high today. Breaking down the forecast over the next few days. For the most part, a dry weekend ahead of us, and then the rain chance picks up as we get into next week. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Josh. Let's take a look outside and check on your morning commute with our first alert traffic. You can see we do have that icon right in the middle of your screen right there. State Road 70, 53rd Avenue in the eastbound lane. The road is closed there from 41 14th Street all the way to 11th Street. Then in Sarasota County, those roads are not looking too bad out there just yet. It's pretty smooth. And then if your commute's going to take you a little bit farther south, 75 and 41, both running smooth out there so far this morning. That's your first alert traffic at 5:18. Well, in consumer news, Anheuser-Busch is sending help in the form of emergency water to states affected by Hurricane Florence.
Yeah, they made 300,000 cans just like this one to send to North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Anheuser-Busch says the water will be transported from the company's brewery near Atlanta to their wholesale partners, along with the American Red Cross and South Carolina National Guard. They also said their Colorado brewery was brought online Wednesday to can even more emergency drinking water.
Also new this morning, say it isn't so. Volkswagen is putting the brakes on the production of their legendary VW Bug. The company says the last one will be made at factories next year, but not before the the company makes one final edition series with the base price tag of more than $23,000. Experts say the Model S now fighting kind of an uphill battle on the market because so many people these days prefer SUVs. But a little light at the end of the tunnel. Volkswagen's president has left the door open for maybe bringing back the Bug at some point during the time.
We used to count Volkswagens and Mustangs on the road growing up.
Yes, they were so popular. This is my daughter's dream car right there. It's the only car she's ever wanted.
It's been a few years since we did that game. All right, you can now sign up for the second annual Skyway 10K, but don't wait much longer. 7,500 runners have already spent $80 the first 20 minutes to register on Thursday. The event is nearly sold out. We checked earlier this morning, and only VIP passes are left. That's $300 per runner. The run across the Skyway Bridge will take place on March 3rd, and all proceeds will go to the Armed Forces Families Foundation. What a view that'll be.
I love this. It sold out fast last year, too, and I love the fact that's going to charity, and it's such a cool race to be able to run. So, well done, well done. Still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, why SpaceX says they have already booked the first flight around the moon with a tourist.
Aha. Next half hour, the latest on Hurricane Florence and President Trump's response to FEMA's efforts ahead of the storm. It is 5:20 right now on this Friday morning, September the 14th, and you're watching Good Morning Suncoast. Here's a live shot once again from Wilmington, North Carolina. Some boats in the harbor. Again, 270,000 people already without power as the storm nears the coast.
That's right. We've had more word in. There's about 150 people waiting to be rescued in New Bern, North Carolina as well. So we'll have all the latest updates as Florence makes landfall here in the next hour or so. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids. Build great futures.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Watch Saturdays at midnight on ABC 7. Premieres September 8th. Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Welcome back. It is 5:24. SpaceX says they have already booked the first flight around the moon with a tourist.
The story in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple's new gadgets going on sale. Pre-ordering is now underway for the new iPhone XS and the XS Max with its larger screen. You can also now pre-order the new Apple Watch Series 4, and if you order today, you could get your new device next Friday. Spotify is tripling its song download limit, allowing premium subscribers access to 10,000 songs on up to 5 devices. But Spotify's limit is still far less than Apple Music, which allows storage of 100,000 songs, and Amazon Prime Music's unlimited downloads. And someone has already booked the first SpaceX flight around the moon. He or she will be the first private passenger to make the trip. The Elon Musk space transportation company plans to announce the person's identity on Monday. Those are your Tech Bites.
Fact is, every insurance company hopes you drive safely. But Allstate actually helps you drive safely with DriveWise. It lets you know when you go too fast and brake too hard, with feedback to help you drive safer, giving you the power to actually lower your cost. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
How do you top mac and cheese? Start with 100% clean ingredients, like Vermont white cheddar. Then add bacon, barbecue chicken, or Baja Blend. Catering and delivery now available. Panera, food as it should be.
Advil presents a big breakthrough in pain relief. Advil Liquigels Minis, a mighty small pill with concentrated power that works at liquid speed. You'll ask, what pain? Advil Liquigels Minis.
Kettle's got it. Kettle's got it.
Kettle's got what you're looking for at Kettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Kettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Kettle's got that too.
Kettle's got it.
Visit Kettle.com.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes, B, console her,
don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Saturdays at midnight on ABC 7.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Coming up, the latest on Hurricane Florence and President Trump's latest response to FEMA efforts ahead of the storm making landfall this morning.
Plus, new details in the case of the 2-year-old Pinellas County toddler allegedly killed by his mother, what a case manager warned his parents about a day before he disappeared.
And we'll tell you about a new no-swim advisory just issued in Sarasota County. We have those stories, plus your Friday forecast this half hour on Good Morning Suncoast. And good morning to you. It is 5:29. We have made it to Friday. I'm Stephanie Webb.
Yes, we have. We're both here. I'm Ray Collins. John Scalzi is not here. He's back on Tuesday. Josh Stone is here, though. He's got the bus stop forecast for us now.
Presently, yes. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But anyway, for the kids today, 75 degrees at the bus stop with clear conditions. And then for this afternoon, a few more clouds and some isolated showers and storms could get going later on today. So 75 right now, clear skies, 96% is the humidity. Winds are calm, but those winds will be coming out of the west. Looks like we may have an upper level low here, but that's going to help steer those winds in from the west and northwest along with what's going on here. This is Hurricane Florence, and those winds around it on the back side will also ignite those winds coming in from the west. So more of a westerly wind component to us today. And of course, the big story in the weather department is what's happening up here in the Carolinas. This is Florence, Category 1 storm, and we'll break this down for you in a little bit. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, Josh. Let's check the roads right now. Be aware of an issue there at 14th Street West and 53rd. The road is going to be blocked for a while there. If we can click on that, we can get more information about that. It goes from 14th Street West east on 53rd until you get to 11th Street Court. So be aware of that. Road is closed eastbound, actually, I should clarify. Farther south, you'll see 41 at northbound as you approach the 301-41 split, crossing over Bay of Vista, some congestion there. In South County, problem there on the 681 connector as you get off 75 and head toward 41. Right now, Hurricane Florence is about to make landfall in the Carolinas, and in Washington, a few hours north, President Trump says the government is ready for the storm.
ABC's Janae Norman has more on some new controversial claims, though, from the president that he says the number of deaths in Puerto Rico from Hurricane Maria was made up to make him look bad.
Pictured during an emergency preparedness briefing and with FEMA ahead of Hurricane Florence, President Trump says the government is completely ready.
We're getting tremendous accolades from politicians and the people.
But ahead of the storm of a lifetime, the president has ignited a firestorm, making a shocking claim, tweeting, downplaying the Americans who suffered from last year's Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, writing, 3,000 people did not die in the 2 hurricanes that hit Puerto Rico, falsely accusing Democrats of inflating the death toll in order to make me look as bad as possible.
If this were North Carolina, I don't think that he would be tweeting these heartless words. I think that he considers them, brown stepchildren.
A comprehensive study from George Washington University concluded nearly 3,000 people died by causes directly related to the hurricane and its aftermath. That number has been accepted by the government as the official death toll. 3,000 American citizens, most of them poor and elderly. But that didn't stop the president from giving himself a rave review for his administration's response.
I actually think it was one of the best jobs that's ever been done. Puerto Rico was an incredible, unsung success.
For the president to say that Puerto Rico was a success, a triumph of his presidency, is simply delusional.
As the hurricane approached, the president fired off a series of tweets attacking Democrats, the Wall Street Journal, questioning the Maria death toll, and other things that had nothing to do with the storm. White House officials say he is focused on Florence. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
New developments from the Catholic Church, where U.S. bishops were at the Vatican yesterday discussing allegations of sexual assaults involving priests. A cardinal from Texas requested a meeting with the Pope following allegations that the lack of response in the church went all the way to the top. The former Archbishop of Washington is accused of sexually harassing seminarians and an altar boy, which he has denied.
Also is in the context of the Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano's allegations against the Pope that he knew about Archbishop McCarrick and that he didn't do enough to take action against McCarrick.
Now, the current Archbishop in Washington, Cardinal Donald Wuerl, faces scrutiny about what he may have known about McCarrick. A grand jury also says that Wuerl covered up abuse during his time in Pittsburgh, which he denies.
Well, new details now in the Pinellas County death of 2-year-old Jordan Bellevue. We're now learning that the day before he went missing, a case manager warned his biological parents that he could once again be taken from them. Now, the case manager warned them on August the 31st during a visit with Jordan's mother, 21-year-old Cherie Stinson. The next day, Jordan disappeared, and then a few days later, his body was found. Stinson has since been charged with first-degree murder. Jordan had previously spent more than a year in foster care. Earlier this year, the boy's court-appointed child advocate told a judge that he should not be returned to his mother, but her objection was overruled.
Happening across Florida, a 9-year-old boy has died after he fell from a high-rise in Miami. The incident was reported at the Echo Luxury Condos right there. Police later confirmed the boy fell from the 12th floor of the building. Still unclear what caused the boy to fall from that balcony.
And a Nebraska couple whose little boy was killed by an alligator at a Disney World hotel have now welcomed a new child to their family. Matt and Melissa Graves announced the birth of Christian Lane Graves. Now, if you remember, back in 2016, an alligator grabbed their 2-year-old son Lane as he was playing alone along the coast of the Seven Seas Lagoon Beach outside Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Now, the child's father jumped into the water to try and free his son, but his body was found 16 hours later. Now, the Graves family said in a statement that Lane is watching over his sister and his new baby brother as a guardian angel.
It was an awful story. Sarasota County health officials are issuing no swim advisories now for 2 area beaches. They say the Venice Fishing Pier Beach and the North Jetty Beach have potentially harmful levels of bacteria in the water. Health officials will do another round of testing later on today. For now, the beaches are still open, but swimming and other water activities are not recommended.
Well, looking to clean up Sarasota Bay, police took one of their training days to remove 2 derelict boats from the water yesterday. The Sarasota Police Department released this video, and you can see the officers diving down to remove the rotting vessels, which can pose a risk to other boaters, and then taking them to the 10th Street boat ramp to be destroyed. It is illegal to abandon a neglected boat this way, and civil and criminal charges are pending for the owner of those 2 vessels.
The city of Northport wants your opinions on the Warm Mineral Springs Park Master Plan. They want to know what services and amenities should be offered to visitors over the next couple of years. You can take part in an online survey now until the end of the month. There will also be 3 community meetings starting next week. The first one Tuesday at 2 p.m. at the park just off US 41 in Northport.
Happening today, the number of guardians hired to protect students in Manatee County schools continues to grow. 13 more guardians will get their certificate from the Manatee County School Board later on this morning. Next week, there will be 31 guardians on duty and 2 lead guardians. 7 more will start training on Monday. Now, the county has been working to fill 40 positions overall for months now as part of the Stoneman Douglas Safety Act, which requires every school in the state to have an armed security officer on campus.
I think when I was in elementary school, once a semester, Officer Rich would come by and pass out pencils.
Right, we had the DARE program in our schools too. That's when I remember seeing officers.
Yeah, things have changed. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll tell you how hundreds of Suncoast volunteers are planning on helping first responders across the East Coast.
And a surprising suggestion from a new study on the worldwide mental health of college students. But first,
here is a look at Wilmington, North Carolina. Again, some boats in the harbor. 270,000 people already have lost power, and the storm has not yet made landfall. Let's get the current conditions here now from Josh Stone.
All right, looking outside right now, we're walking out to pleasant conditions, 75 degrees, and our winds are calm, unlike what's happening up to our north and east of us. We'll get to that in just a second. As far as our forecast today, topping out in the upper 80s with a few clouds, and we'll have a few showers and storms our forecast later today, but nothing like what they're experiencing in the Carolinas, and we'll break this down for you when we come back. Back to you.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before.
And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
How do you open tough jar lids? Do you try this one? Or this one? Or how about this one?
Honey?
This is the future. Shouldn't there be a robot for this by now? There is. Introducing RoboTwist, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids. Just set it down, press the button, and watch it work. First, the RoboStrong vise locks down tight. Then the powerful twisting action unscrews the lid. RoboTwist is yours for the special introductory price of just $19.99. That's right, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids, all for just $19.99. Whether the jar is big or small, RoboTwist can open them all. Supplies are limited, so don't delay. Here's how to get yours today.
Call 1-800-347-1073. That's 1-800-347-1073. Or order online at buyrobotwist.com.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Well, happy Friday to you. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone. I hope you're excited that we finally made it to the weekend, and I'm filling in for John Scalzi today because he is taking the day off, and a much-deserved day off for him. 76 right now in Sarasota, 76 in Venice. It's 75 in Arcadia, so very pleasant conditions on this Friday morning. How about the day planner? Well, we'll have an increase in clouds with the heating of the day, mostly sunny to begin with, then we'll have partly cloudy this afternoon, and then it looks like we're going to get a chance, maybe 20 to 30% chance of showers and storms to get going later on in the afternoon hours. Now, as far as radar goes for us, everything looks pretty quiet along the Sun Coast. Maybe some of our inland counties could experience some, maybe some hit or miss light showers this morning, but other than that, everything is quiet. What's not so quiet is up to our northeast, and of course this is the big, not only news story, but weather story with Hurricane Florence. It's Category 1. Just the other day it was Category 4, but thank goodness it lost intensity. But you know what? It takes a long time for the storm surge intensity to kind of wind down. So even though the winds aren't as great with this thing, like a Category 4 type of storm, the storm surge, those waves that already churned up from the other day, are still coming in pretty strong. Maybe Category 3, Category 4 storm surge waves. But as far as the winds go, not as great, about 90 miles per hour. That's still strong, but not as strong as a Category 4 when we had, I think, sustained winds at one point of 140 miles per hour. So at least that's the good news. What's not so good is the eye, the center of circulation, is still over water. It's moving very slow, and it's going to continue to pinwheel around and drop a lot of rain, and maybe up to 40 inches of rain in some locations And that terrain, unlike us, like here in Florida where it's relatively flat, there it's hilly and you can get mudslides. We've already had a lot of rain over here over the last several weeks with some other storms. The soil's saturated, the rivers are going to overflow their banks even after the storm passes by. So this is going to be kind of a slow mover. Right now it's sustained winds at 90 miles per hour. It's only moving to the west and northwest at 6 miles per hour. And it's going to lose its intensity finally when that fuel supply is cut off as it makes its way onto land, and the trough will pick it up and move it off to the north and east. Another tropical system in the Caribbean, this is Tropical Depression Isaac. We're watching this pretty closely, moving to the west and eventually northwest. We'll keep an eye on it, but as far as everywhere else in the lower 48, looking pretty good. No travel delays at this time for any of the airports if you're flying out of SRQ to, say, even Charlotte. So looking pretty good there, at least for the moment. 89 degrees will be our high today, which is average. And as far as the weekend goes, Saturday and Sunday, relatively dry. Then we pick up the rain chance as we get into next week. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Josh. Let's take a look outside and check on your first alert traffic. We have been watching this one spot right here in Manatee County throughout the morning. 53rd Avenue, the eastbound lane. The road is closed from 41 14th Street to 11th Street Court. So just a heads up if that is part of your commute. Then in Sarasota County, those roads are not looking too bad so far out there, mostly running pretty smooth. And if your commute is going to take you a little bit farther south into the area, maybe towards Port Charlotte, 75 and 41 are both looking pretty good so far. Well, right now, local agencies on the Suncoast are on standby to respond to however Hurricane Florence puts us in need.
Our Marla Spence joins us now with a look at what's being done to help those in the Carolinas right now. Marla?
Well, guys, local agencies are willing and ready to pay it forward and help along the East Coast, especially after experiencing Irma a little over a year ago. Today, volunteers with Sarasota's American Red Cross and the Venice Fire Department are on standby. The Venice Fire team has 3 personnel and a Venice fire engine ready to head out if they get the call. The same team has gone out to help other neighboring communities in the past who have been hit with catastrophe. Now, the Red Cross also looking to help. Organizers say they are waiting to see what the needs are once the storm passes before collecting donations. Until then, the organization is asking people to hold off on donating goods for now. So far, the organization has sent 24 volunteers, and they say they are looking for more people in the community to help.
This is going to be a long-term effort. It's not going to be over in the weekend. And so, we fully anticipate that we'll be up there depending on the amount of rainfall, depending on the flooding and whatever develops out of the storm, that we'll be able to send people up there probably in a week or 2 or even longer after that.
And millions of people have already escaped the path of the storm by making their way south. A couple from Myrtle Beach drove close to 12 hours in traffic, with millions of others trying to escape Florence. That couple thankfully has family in Venice, where they are now seeking refuge as Florence passes through. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Marla. Well, in Health Smart, a new report is shining light on cancer cases across the globe.
Reed Binion has more on a study from the World Health Organization in today's Health Minute.
An alarming new report from the World Health Organization. Researchers from the International Agency for Research on Cancer estimate 18.1 million new cases and 9.6 million deaths this year alone. The report looked at data from 185 countries and 36 types of cancer. Based on that information, researchers found 1 in 5 men and 1 in 6 women will develop cancer during their lifetime. So why is cancer becoming a more common cause of death? Partly because in many countries, stroke and heart disease deaths are down. Researchers also say the global population is growing and more people means more cancer. And as that larger population ages, the risk of cancer rises. Location is also a factor. According to the report, the likelihood that you'll get cancer depends on where you live. Nearly half of the new cancer cases worldwide were in Asia, which has 60% of the world's population. And the Americas are home to 21% of cancer incidences, but just over 13% of the world population. Europe accounts for 23.4% of cancer cases, but just 9% of the world population. According to the new report, lung, breast, and colorectal cancers are the most prevalent. For men, lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death. For women, it's breast cancer. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
Well, as the parent of not one, but 2 college students myself, this study is eye-opening. A new study from the World Health Organization suggests that 1 in 3 college freshmen has a mental health condition. A third admitted they had some kind of issue like anxiety or depression in their lifetime, many within the last year. 1 in 5 had gone through a major depression, the most reported by students. Now, it is an issue that colleges and universities are struggling to deal with, and many are trying to expand their services and make better screening efforts.
Entertainment news now. Aziz Ansari is starting to do comedy again after laying low in the wake of an accusation he acted improperly on a date. Last January, a website published a report from a woman alleging he pressured her into having sex despite repeated refusals. He didn't face any charges. The comedian has been noticeably absent, though, from public appearances, but did do a stand-up routine Monday night at a Nashville comedy club. His Netflix show, Master of None, has not yet been renewed. And Will and Grace actor Eric McCormack is now a Hollywood Walk of Famer. He kicked off his career as a theater actor in Canada. He later moved on to Broadway before he landed that big role on Will and Grace. He got an Emmy for that, a Screen Actors Guild Award for that, and 5 Golden Globe nominations. His star is right next to Deborah Messines, his co-star in Will and Grace.
Very nice. All right, finally, take a look at this. The fastest man on Earth has proven he's not going to be slowed down by a little thing like gravity. Olympic gold medalist Usain Bolt raced astronauts in an Airbus Zero-G plane above France. Now, this, Ray, was actually part of the event that we talked about yesterday by that champagne house that was trying to make bubbly for zero gravity environment so tourists and astronauts can celebrate. Now, by the way, if you had any doubt, Bolt easily beat his competitors. Calling the race both, look how fast he is. Okay, even on his head, even doing a somersault, that man is fast.
I'm surprised. Look at that.
Look how fast he can go.
I could watch this thing all day in an endless loop.
I know, this is amazing.
All right, 5:51 right now. We'll come back and update the day's top news headlines. But first, let's take a peek now back at North Carolina. Here's the scene as Florence is coming ashore.
That is right. The eye is moving. It's working a little slow, bringing with it a lot of rain, a lot of flooding. So far, about 270,000 people are without power this morning. We're going to have more on that. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC 7.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
The day you lose your strength is the day you lose your independence. Muscle is lost with age, affecting your energy, balance, and mobility. Before you know it, you're depending on others just to get through the day. But you can reverse and prevent muscle loss. Introducing MyoHealth, a revolutionary proven approach to increased muscle strength and function in as little as 30 days. Live life on your terms with more energy and confidence.
After a serious health issue put me down, MyoHealth's getting me back up again.
I'm doing activities that I haven't done for a long time. It really works.
MyoHealth is a safe, natural dietary supplement, the result of decades of research and 24 human clinical studies. You can live stronger at any age with greater strength, mobility, balance, and energy. Call or go online now and take the MyoHealth 30-Day Strength Challenge.
Kettle's got it. Kettle's got it. Kettle's got what you're looking for at Kettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Kettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Kettle's got that too. Kettle's got it. Visit Kettle.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
All right, welcome back. It is 5:54, and here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Hurricane Florence has caused major structural damage and knocked out power to 250,000 people in the Carolinas. County officials there call the situation devastating.
Plus, the candidate for state house that lied about a college degree is expected to reach an agreement today with the state attorney's office. Melissa Howard faces fines, probation, and community service after the sheriff's office concluded she intended to defraud voters.
And you now have access to 200 traffic cameras from northern Manatee to southern Sarasota County. You can find out more information about this on our website, mysuncoast.com.
And now over to Josh Stone for a look at the forecast today.
All right, looking like a very nice Friday for us. We're going to start off seeing mostly sunny skies and clear skies, and then a few clouds start to develop in the afternoon. There's a chance, maybe 20 to 30% chance of those isolated showers get going, and our highs will top out in the upper 80s.
All right, Josh, very good. We'll talk to you soon. Now, once again, Hurricane Florence is nearing the coast. Category 1 right now, 250,000 without power. What other numbers do you have for us?
There's got life-threatening storm surge, hurricane force winds out there. Now, the outer eye wall is slowly moving onshore. As of about 5 o'clock this morning, Florence was about 25 miles east of Wilmington, North Carolina. It's about 50 miles southwest of South Carolina.
And some evacuees have come as far south as the Suncoast. Next half hour, we'll talk to one of our reporters who talked to a family who's evacuated to Venice. That story and more news coming up on Good Morning Suncoast.